You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
Who gives a fuck?
I don't care if he personally kick Candace Owens and her stinky
cray.
No good thing starts with, I was thinking about my ex.
He ain't learned his lesson. That's a brother ain't gonna learn shit.
I know this is gonna be unpopular, and I don't care.
Let's keep this shit funky.
Hey, welcome to Unpopin Show, home of unpopular opinions. And no, I am not high. I am T Storm, and joined by, as always, my brother DJ Mike Swift. What up, Mike?
What's going on, man? What's going on? You not being high is the perfect segue for this conversation we're about to have.
Oh my God! So we have recorded our show for our shows for the remaining of the year. But we were in there talking, and we consequently brought up a certain singer that does cocaine. I won't say his name because if he still does it, that's his business. And Mike goes, "Hey, did you see Cocaine Bear?" Well, there's a trailer for a movie called Cocaine Bear. We're going to run the trailer for you right now. Please enjoy. This is probably, if you haven't done cocaine, I haven't. This is the closest to it. You'll feel like it. Check this out.
Medic!
Oh, Jesus. What is that?
So, it's a big ass bear in the closet. Closing the door.
Beth, we should go.
Millions of dollars worth of cocaine fell from the sky this morning in Knoxville, Tennessee.
There's more of this out there. They dumped it somewhere.
I'm looking for my daughter.
Forest is a dangerous place.
Hey, Henry, check it out. Something got into it. A deer, maybe.
A lot of cocaine
And it's inspired
was
by
lost. I need you to go and get it.
real or true events.
You're kidding.
Bear eats up.
No, don't eat that, don't eat that. Let's see what kind of effect that has on.
The bear. It fucking did cocaine. A bear did cocaine.
There was a bear.
A bear?
It was far.
Hey, that's inappropriate.
You're safe. Bears can't climb trees.
Of course I can.
Higher, baby.
Oh, shit.
Get higher, baby.
It kind of seems like the thing that stays with a man forever.
Apex predator. High on cocaine. Out of its mind. Oh man, you fucked.
What the fuck is wrong with that bear?
Shoot it, man.
Bear, speed up!
Higher, baby. And don't ever come down.
We have such good luck in nature.
Oh my God. People, listen to it, man. I did not expect to have that on my checklist for 2023. But I have to see this movie now, man. What makes it even horribly more funny is that it's inspired by true events.
Oh my God.
They picked the right time. They picked the right time to put it out because it's not one of them blockbuster films that, you know, a Marvel film that comes out in time for the holidays. No, this comes out in the time. It comes out in cocaine-inspired films. Cocaine-inspired film season, like, Sharknado. It's like one of those, man. Oh, but that looks funny as hell, man.
Cocaine Bear. Oh my God.
I was not
That's
ready.
awesome. That's fantastic. It is fantastic.
Yeah. I can't believe that's an actual movie. That's the title.
I mean, you think about the pitch, right? Like the guy going in and saying, okay, check this out. A bear gets into a bag of cocaine, gets really high, and goes on a killing spree. That's the film. And the guy across the desk went, that's goddamn genius. Let's make that movie.
I would go even further. It was probably done after a bump of cocaine. then the pitch. All right, I'm gonna pitch you this movie, this idea for this movie, but you need this, and hands him a mirror. An exact eyebrow goes up and goes, takes out a pen. Okay, but this better be good. What you got? Tells him the movie, and he's like, that's phenomenal. No, that movie looks very funny.
It does.
It looks very funny.
It is right up there with Snakes on a Plane.
I don't think Snakes on a Plane was ever intended on being funny.
Really?
I don't know. It wasn't. I think it was funny after the fact.
Okay.
I think it was funny after the fact. I mean, the classic line, I'm on top of these next on this plane, that Samuel Jackson delivered. I believe that line may have been improv. I don't think it existed. I don't think in the script it was as funny. I think the performances made it funny after the fact. But what do I know? I'm not in Hollywood.
Same thing. Like what do I know?
Yeah, but that looks. There's that Johnny Knoxville is in it.
If Johnny Knoxville is in it, then you know it was meant to be silly.
Yeah, but it looks like a real thriller. You're really concerned about this murderous bear on cocaine, high out of his mind. That's hilarious. Speaking of high out of his mind, I wonder if one Jamal Bryant was possibly high when he made this statement.
Looking for people that smell like weeds. No, really. It is New Birth is the largest land-owning Black church in America. And so my position to my deacons is, why aren't we not raising cannabis? I'll be able to bring in Black males. They're able to do it legally. I'm teaching them farming.
Oh my God.
I'm helping them to enhance the ecosystem. This is the kind of conversation. So if the guy, Black boy in Bankhead said, they growing weed at the church, where do I join?
Yes.
I don't need no pamphlet for him.
Big shout out to Rashawn Ali from her podcast, Cool Sora. Jamal Bryant, who is a pastor there in Atlanta, made this statement on her show. Mr. Swift, what say you?
Do I have to? I think anybody that's seen the show at least twice, you probably know what I'm going to say. You're probably familiar. This is look, okay. If it were legalized in Georgia,
it is legal. Is it legal already?
No.
Oh.
No. If it were legalized in Georgia, then I would feel very differently about it. That I've said it on the show before. My biggest issue with it is that it's illegal. However, I probably wouldn't support it, but I would understand it a little bit better if it were a part of a trades program to teach people farming, like he says. However, to use it as a way to bring people into the church, I think I have a bit of a problem with that. I think I have a bit of a problem with that. because it's kind of a bait and switch kind of a thing.
Where's the switch?
Well, I mean, I'm operating under the assumption that his mission is to bring more people over to Christ. So he's baiting them in with weed, and then he's going to hit them with, here's the scripture, right? I feel it feels weird and icky to me. It feels manipulative. It feels usury almost, because let's be honest, there's a financial aspect associated with mega churches and the size of the congregation and how much they tithe and that type of thing that affords him to be not him or the church to be the largest land owning church in the United States. And it affords the jets, and it affords, I mean, this is New Birth. There's a history of this kind of stuff with New Birth. What was it? Eddie Long that was there prior to Mr. Bryant. So it all just reeks to me. And yes, that pun was intended.
Unfortunately, Mr. Long, Pastor Long's demise was, there was scandal, and then he got sick and passed away.
Yeah.
So you can do your own Googles on that one. I don't even want to talk ill of the dead anymore.
I just think that the church should uphold a standard, right? It should be not necessarily the moral authority, because that's what popped into my head, but not necessarily the moral authority, but definitely the moral standard. Yeah. I don't see that this is that. And again, I'm willing to have my mind changed. Hop in the comments, give me some information that'll change my mind and change my perspective on it. But it just feels icky to me.
I kind of see where he's coming from. I understand what you're saying too. I'm almost on the wait and see. Let me see what it looks like. You know what I mean? Is it a bait and switch? Or is he handing, rolling papers with scripture written on it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the actual, what is going to happen? How does this really end off? And I don't know. There's an argument that, marijuana is natural and is of the earth, and the people have that argument. I'm not a big weed smoker. But I certainly wouldn't smoke at church.
Just like I wouldn't drink at church.
Yeah, drinking at church is, even that feels, Jesus turned water into wine. That was the first miracle. I get it. But you wasn't getting turned up. That was, right. It wasn't at a church. It was at a wedding. I think about it. Any case, yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes. I kind of, it does feel weird. It feels kind of taboo, but
I think nothing good is going to come of it.
No.
I
mean, there, I think people had issues with, churches doing Super Bowl parties.
I don't have a problem with the church doing a Super Bowl party. I would have questioned, if you did the party at the church, what are you serving?
No, I've been to a Super Bowl party at a church. There was no alcohol served.
Right. Listen, and people make the argument. I'm sorry. People make the argument that, they're human beings. They're humans. They're going to do what they do. True. But I look at it, I approach it the same way I kind of I approach the thought process the same way I approach the thought process with my children. I know they're going to do things wrong. I don't say to them, it's okay to do the thing wrong, right? I don't condone it. I don't endorse it. I say, this is a wrong thing. And when they do it, they knew it was wrong. So they're less likely to do it another time, I would think, especially if there's a negative outcome or if I catch them. But if I endorse and condone it, then they're like, okay. And they just kind of keep going. So I get that people drink outside of the church. I get that people smoke outside of the church. But the church should be the moral underpinning to say, listen, this is how you should behave in order to get to the outcomes that you want to see in your life. And that is based on scripture. That's based on the Bible, because that's the lane that we're talking about. It shouldn't endorse and condone that type of behavior, and it shouldn't use the negative behavior to bring people in. And saying that, it's just, I'm reminded of something that I heard a long time ago that I have seen ring true in life. And it's a man is better controlled by his vices than his virtues. So I would, if I applied that thought process to what his plans are, I would now be questioning, what really are your plans? It just feels icky across the board to me. It just does.
Yeah.
If you're concerned about young black men having an opportunity to learn farming or some trade, talk to me about your trade programs. You can entice them to come in and be a part of it if your trade program is associated with earning revenue. You don't have to cater to the least common denominator and pander to the base nature. You can entice with need and necessity being filled, if that makes sense.
I think a lot of it, and I think a lot of it, again, I'm not one that smokes weed on the regular, anything like that, right? But I think some of our feelings of it has to do with what the narrative is about it.
100%.
Right? So for years, in fact, it had been demonized for so long to the point where it was criminalized. And for those who sold weed, black and brown people, they associated with black and brown people, and cocaine associated, with of higher status, right? When just as many white people smoke weed, if not more.
I mean, just based on the math of it, it's going to be more, because there are just more white people.
Yeah, and they're less likely to serve serious time for it, right? There's still people that have criminal records because of selling weed. I mean, Brittany Griner was just in Russia with, I don't know, maybe a cap full of some sort of hemp or whatever it was. And I don't know if it was actually marijuana, it
was not. It was, I think it was hemp. It was not marijuana.
Right. And she got granted, that wasn't the U.S., but the point remains, it was a harsher punishment had it been of anyone that was of European descent. So I think a lot of our feelings of it, has to do with just the narrative of it. And if you were saying, if it were the same for making some sort of alcohol, would we feel the same way about it?
I would.
You think the same? Yeah,
I would feel the same way. Again, my only issue, well, not only, my biggest issue with marijuana is the legal nature of it. If it were made legal tomorrow to recreationally consume or indulge, because some people consume and some people don't, but to recreationally indulge in it, my attitude would change, right? Now that probably accounts for 70%. The other 30%, and where I have an issue with the church, is demonized or not, it is mind altering.
Yes.
And that changes how you behave. It changes how you think. It changes what you do. It changes how you move, just like alcohol. So I wouldn't recommend saying, come to church on Sunday because we gonna turn up. And that's the way to get young men and young women to come to church, because we gonna turn up and we got vodka jello shots and all of this. And that's gonna teach them a trade on how to be a mixologist. I would have a problem with that, because that doesn't belong in the church, in my opinion. So if we made it legal tomorrow, if we made marijuana legal tomorrow and they said, come to the church to learn how to plant marijuana, they ain't coming to learn how to plant marijuana. They coming to get marijuana. Right. So it's weird. It's just weird.
Yeah. I am reminded to say, because I'm not a pastor. I'm not a, I read that much more than Kanye West. I read much more. I've picked my Bible up in the last 3 years. Okay. But that said, drinking wasn't the sin. Getting drunk is. Being intoxicated was the sin for those, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so while it's not necessarily something that you're not going to do a shot and then go to church, you know what I mean? There are some people that do, or leave church and have a drink. I mean, that doesn't make you, what's the word? It doesn't take away from for those who are believers, it doesn't take away from your salvation. But
agreed.
I guess that's the way I'm looking at it and how he's saying it. How I'm he's maybe not encouraging people to get high, but trying to reach them where they are.
I can see that. How you reaching them, I think it's problematic for the church that should be the moral underpinning. If you are trading on my vices to get me to come into church, it seems icky.
Icky or not, I got you. And I feel you on that. But there was, again, I'm not a theologian, but my understanding of it is that when Jesus was, walked the earth, he wasn't preaching at churches. He wasn't witnessing at churches. He went to the people in real life. He was out in culture. You know what I mean? In today's time, he might be at the bar. He might be in the cipher. He may not partake in passing, you know what I mean? But he wasn't judging them for where they were.
I'm not judging. And
again, this is the mindset I'm hoping that he's coming to it with.
Right. But see, and I listen, if he was saying, I'm going to put together a ministry an outreach ministry to those young brothers, and we're going to go to where they are, and we're going to talk to them, and we're going to try to get them to come back and learn about horticulture, then okay. But that's not what he's doing. He's saying, we know you have this vice. We know you partake and probably indulge a little bit more than you should. We going to put that at the church. So he's not doing outreach. He's saying the thing that's probably causing problems in your life, I'm going to have it over here so you can come to me for it instead of being out there with it. That feels weird to me.
No, I feel you.
I mean, look, again, hop in the comments. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. I always welcome thought that is not mine. That's the only way you get smarter. If you want to know what you know, listen to yourself and only talk to people who agree with you. If you want to be smarter, better, more well-rounded, talk to people who don't agree with you. So please bring it, because I would love to have my mind changed.
Word. And for those who do write in the comments, after you write in the comment, before you hit send, put the blunt out, sober up, go back and read it and go, okay, yeah, I can send that, and then post it. Just to make sure we're on the same planet.
and listen, and don't mistake my opinion as one who says marijuana shouldn't be illegal. I mean, shouldn't be legalized, and that it's the devil. And I'm not that person. I mean, look, I feel like it's right up there with alcohol. If you can legalize alcohol, you can legalize marijuana.
Man, you know how many murders on behalf of alcohol, the whole prohibition thing. I mean, Al Capone, like just the stories of Al Capone and what was happening back then. He was doing a whole lot more, but
the U.S. tried it and they said, oh, apparently Americans like to mind, alter, and check out. This ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work.
Hey, just give it to them. Matter of fact, I'll take a drink too. They were drinking. The cops was drinking.
They were. They were.
Yeah. In any case, hey folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And again, Happy New Year. Peace.
Peace. That beat be rocking.